Yo, what's up, Bonehawk? Shujinkydink here. Welcome back to a video all about Injustice 2 and how to play it. Oh, I love doing these videos because I love doing instructional stuff and helping people and teaching and stuff like that, so I really look forward to doing these. I hope you enjoyed the last video. If you want to check that out again, I'll put a little tabby thing up here. You can go and just give yourself a quick refresher. Today we're going to talk about 3 main points. We're going to talk about how to use what moves and looking at speeds and damages. We're going to look at how to build a combo, and then we're going to look at how to actually hit our opponents. So those are the 3 big things, and I'm going to put timestamps if you just want to skip to one particular one. I have a feeling everyone wants to see how to do a combo. But yeah, let's get started.
Accept your death.
So it's super important to understand how our moves work, because if you don't understand how they work, you're not going to be able to use them properly because you're not exactly sure where and when to use them. So, luckily, all that information is in the moves list. Ta-da! It's all in here. And we're going to start, because all these combo strings I'll explain in a minute, we're going to start here with our basic attacks, because all of your combos are going to start off a basic attack. So, what I want to look at here, and I'm only going to focus on one thing here, because it does get a little confusing if you go too deep in it too fast. On the right here, you can see it says startup frames. Startup. So this is our frame data. So this tells us about the move. Okay, this whole little block here, how much damage it does, how much damage it does on block, that kind of thing. But we really just want to look at the startup right now. So this will tell you how fast a move is, how fast a move comes out. And at first, it might not seem like that's super important to you, but as we go into this a little bit more, you'll start to understand why that's so important. So 6, when it says startup of 6, that's 6 frames. That's the fastest move in this game. As far as a regular attack, you cannot get faster than 6 frames. So if you need something that's super duper quick, that's the one for you, and that's this one right here. Bam, bam, and then it leads into all sorts of combos. Boom, boom, we can do that. We can do that. Again, try not to get too far ahead of myself here. So this is kind of how I try to look at these things, is I try and compare it to boxing. I think is a great example. I've used it many times before. That move is like your jab, you know, like it's quick. You're going to hit them a lot with it, but it's not going to be like your knockout punch kind of a thing, right? The knockout punch is generally the big haymaker over the top, you know, kind of thing. So when we look at our moves list, we can see that from that we go down to something that's 19 frames, which is quite a bit slower of a move. So if you look at both of these side by side, that's your first attack, that's your second attack. So look at how much slower that attack is. So combo attacks are not always, you don't want to always just throw them out. Sometimes they're used in the middle of the string or an end of a combo, just to net you a little bit more damage. Generally the faster moves do less damage, but you can hit them off quicker, and the bigger ones take a little bit more time. So generally speaking, you can go down and you can find out what are my fastest moves. So we're going to do that right now. So we got the one that we were just talking about. We got our down one. So this is the difference. We were talking in the last video about highs and mids. Well, this one is a high, so if it ducks, it can miss and just not hit them completely, and that's never a good thing. But this one, they have to block it. You know, they have to do something or else they're getting hit by it, regardless of where they are. And you can see if I hit low, and that's also super fast. This is a great one to throw out if you're not really sure if you should press something or like be patient or whatnot. Just kind of tap it out. It's really quick, usually safe, so that you don't have to worry about that as much. And then we got these ones that are in the teens. So this one here is really slow at 26 frames, but it's an overhead. So she has a mix-up here between this one and her back two. Like we were saying in the last video, lows and overhead. So one you have to block standing, one you have to block ducking. Now she has a mix-up here where she can do a low or an overhead. Look at that overhead though, that's super slow. So there's lots of time for them to react to that. Not lots of time, but a little bit of time. The more you play fighting games, that it'll be a little bit easier to you, but generally speaking, you would want to block the low and react to that at 26 frames. But yeah, so those are a little mix-up that she has there, and then you could look at the speeds and say, okay, like the back two is a low, it's 13 frames startup. Overhead is 26, so the overhead is literally twice as slow as the little low that she has. And then there you go. So there's your purpose for both of those moves. This one I would want to do if I think that they're like standing a lot, and if I think they're ducking a lot, I'll hit them with that one. Boom. So now we figured out how to use this one. This one we figured out is our fastest move, so we want to use it when we need something fast. What are those scenarios? We're going to talk about those scenarios. Is everyone keeping up okay? You're doing good out there? If you have any questions at all, please feel free to put them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. I did have an MKX video that people were really confused about what I was talking about, so I just want to feel free to ask some questions if you have them. I'll do my best to answer them. So this is kind of where we're going to transition a little bit from understanding our moves to punishing our opponent and how to actually hit our opponent. So the second thing that I want you to look at on this little thing is where it says block advantage. So this is what happens if your opponent blocks the move. So you don't actually hit them, you know, they block it. If it's a positive number, that's a positive sign. That's good for you. You want a positive block advantage. But if it's a negative number, womp womp, there are 6 frames there where you cannot block. If your opponent does something faster than 6 frames, which they can't in this instance because that's just the game's design, you cannot block that. That will hit you. So anything -6 and lower is your safe zone. Now, it's kind of like a game of chess, for example. Like, you can, once you do this -6, you've given up your turn. That's your turn. You can block, but it's your opponent's turn to do something, whether they try and hit you with a mix-up or they try and throw you or that kind of thing. So this is what's called giving up your turn if you use something that's safe but negative. Okay? I hope I'm not overwhelming people here. So, having said that, you want to make sure that you're using moves that are fairly safe. We have Harley Quinn here, so she is fairly safe on most things. Here's one where she might be -12. That's pretty negative. When you get into the double digits, you want to be really careful with just throwing these moves out. You want to be pretty sure that they'll hit. And this is her uppercut. So that's a good way to find out, okay, now I have all these moves, how do I use them? Well, let's look at how fast it is first. Let's look at how much risk there is involved in just throwing this move out. Am I fairly certain it's going to hit? If my opponent jumps at me and I do this move, they can't block in the air, so it's fairly safe to just do it and try to smack them with it. That would be a good use for it. Should I just walk up when they're blocking and just... Probably not the best idea. You're probably going to regret that decision. And I do want to say that this is excellent for either playing against the AI or playing online, because the AI does all sorts of stuff. And if you know exactly how to calculate how to do something about it, then you're going to have a good time. So now that we kind of know those two things, those are the two things that I really want us to know about how our moves work. We're going to go into Superman here, and we're going to look at his move for back and triangle. Now, if we look at this, this is a really fast move. Like 7 frames is pretty quick, but it's also -19 on block. So when we go back to our moves list, so we know that this is -19 on block. We're going to go back to our moves list and find whatever is startup is 18 frames or less. And that's how we know that we can punish them, because there's 19 frames there where they can't block. You can hit them with anything faster than 19 frames, and they can't block it. You're hitting them. It's called a punish or a counter. I believe they call it counters in this game. MK11, I think they switched to punishes, but either way, they can't block. There's nothing they can do about it. They've committed to doing that unsafe move, and you're going to punish them. So we're going to record Mr. Superman here. Go to AI options. AI, human, record. We're going to record Superman doing that move, which is that one there. Oh, it does say punish. So you'll know that it's a punish because up in the top left corner, it'll say punish. But yeah, there's no way that they could block that. And because it's -19, we can even do a slower move, like if we time it right. There we go, we did 4-1-2. Or forward, where X, sorry. The number system's confusing. I'm trying to simplify it for you. So hopefully you get the gist of this by now. So where you would use this is, let's say you're in the story mode or you're in a tower and the AI just keeps doing this move with Superman over and over and over again. It keeps hitting you and you don't know what to do about it. take Superman into it. You can go as Superman too if you want to, or you can go to practice options and actually switch yourself to control Superman, and then look at the move and say, okay, what do I do about this move? Oh, okay, this move is extremely punishable, so all I have to do is block it. If he's spamming it, that's a bad idea, because you are going to lab that and you're going to understand how to punish it. Okie dokie? Does that make sense? And then you want to counterbalance that with your own moves and try and play as safe as possible, so that, you know, sometimes you have to take risks, but, you know, like, look at this. Look at all this nice frame data. This is so good to look at. -2 block advantage. Oh, I'm such a nerd, man. And then you can look at your strings, the same thing. What are some safe strings to throw out that might get me a little bit of damage? Look at that. -52. -52. No big deal. That's death right there. That's like, go make yourself a sandwich, come back, and then do whatever you want to me. Which in most situations might be a cool kind of thing. But in this situation, not so much. So I hope I explained that to you as well as I could. Now we're going to go. So we've learned how to understand what our moves do and how they work. And we've understand how to hit the opponent, because now we understand what moves they're doing that's unsafe, or we can take whatever opponent that we're having trouble with into the lab and find that out. Now, I want to before we get too far, we're already 11 minutes in. What the hell? So it seems overwhelming that, oh, I got to remember all these numbers and all these blah 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 blah. You don't. Trust me, you don't. I don't. All this is to help you understand. Oh, this punishes that. Superman keeps doing that back triangle move. I can punish it with this move. That's all you need to remember. As long as you remember your timing for how to hit it, you don't need to remember that it's -19, so my 6-frame standing one can punish it. That's just, it's not that overwhelming. All you do, Supergirl's teleport is a big one. You know, a lot of people get hit by it. If you block it, you can pretty much do whatever you want, and you just choose. You just choose. And so that's when you also want to choose, how do I get the most damage out of this? Which is where we're going to go into the next one, which is building combos. So, okay, so now we've understood how our moves work. We've understood how to hit the opponent, and now we need to maximize our damage, because we want to hit him with a combo for that. You know, there's no damage just hitting him one little thing at a time. Look how many times I have to hit him to get the health bar all the way down. So we want to make sure that we maximize our damage. So we're going to build a combo here. I'm going to build a couple different combos, actually, just to show you how the different combo routes work. So sometimes you need a special move to link your combos, and sometimes the strings actually will launch the combo for themselves. So we're going to do 2 different examples. We're going to start with the strings launching themselves. So let's say Superman here does that super negative move that we were just talking about, and we want to hit him with the combo. So when you look at your combo list, all of this frame data, just ignore that for now. You'll learn that down the road. It's not important. This entire combo starts up as soon as the first hit. So the first hit, 6 frames, that's the only thing you need to know. And then all of these combo strings afterwards, all these ones here, they all start off the 6 frames. So don't worry about those right now. Those aren't important. So we're going to do this one here as our punish, because it is actually a string that launches. So we can do this here. That's what the string look like. So Superman, so Superman, do your super unsafe thing. You block it. 1, 2, 3. Just like that. And it launches them over. So we want to kind of find the spot where we can hit them on the other side and find something to hit them with. So we're going to do so super simple here, and we're going to follow up with this one here. So here's what that looks like. 265 damage. Not bad. We didn't even use any super meter. So this is an example of a string launching, and then you end it with another string, and there you go. You get some damage. So because Superman decided to do that one super unsafe move, he's eating 265 damage. All you do is this string here, that string there. Super simple, okay? So that's kind of how you can start building your combos, is doing things like that and just kind of trying to understand, you know, what links, what doesn't, because you're going to have, you know, you might find this launcher and then you're like, oh, what do I do afterwards? You're trying all these different things, but like go down your moves list as well and be like, okay, what moves haven't I tried? That one doesn't seem to work. Can I do this one? Maybe. It's a little tight, but 247 damage. There you go. So That's just one example. So the next example I'll use is by having a combo launcher as a special move. This is most common for a lot of characters. I know the character that I main, Firestorm, you know, he has one of these as well. But he has to pretty much use his special move to enhance his combos. So in this case, Harley Quinn's is the Tantrum Stance into a cartwheel. So the Tantrum Stance is this thing where she kind of lies on the ground and she kicks her legs. You can do a bunch of different things. You can throw a little bomb at him. You can do some guns. Or you can do the cartwheel. And all the commands for this are in the special moves. I won't spend too much time talking about Harley Quinn because this is just a generic thing for anybody in the game. You want to find your special move that launches. Hers is Tantrum Stance Cartwheel. So we do our string into our special move. It launches, and you see that it's now this is where combos get a little bit more difficult, because generally speaking, that's not where you would want to end the combo. Like, we do this into this. 158, it's okay, but you can get more damage. And then generally after our launcher, we hit him with a back 3. That's almost always, in most combos, string, special move, back 3. These are a little bit more advanced combos, but I just want you to get an idea of how it works, because that's, there you go. Very simple combo, 265. But we could actually get some better damage with using a better combo with the special move into the launcher. And again, higher execution isn't exactly easy, but you do get more damage. So here's kind of an idea of, or here's an example of what that looks like. There's 368 damage, and I still didn't even use any super meter. And then sometimes you'll need to use a bar of super meter to get your launcher, so keep that in mind as well. So you want to find your launcher, whether it's a combo string, whether it's a special move, you know, go down your strings and see what you have that's like, this is a move like you saw in that last combo. I wouldn't really just use this move. You might every once in a while, but this is generally speaking only used for my combo ender. So that's an example of finding a combo or a string that's used as your only in a combo. That's really the only place you would use it, you know. It might have other uses, but that's, you know, generally speaking, that's how you'd use it. Well, there's two different formulas there. There's string into string. That's probably the beginner-friendly one that I would probably try first if you have a string that launches. And then there's the string into special move, which a little bit more complicated, but might be necessary depending on your character. I do have a bunch of combo guides on Injustice 2 on my channel. They're quite old, and not all of them are optimized, but it might give you an idea of kind of how to combo your opponent and whatnot, so I'll try and put the links to that below. So you can start comboing. Again, I apologize if any of this came off like way too advanced or you got confused somewhere. Please feel free to comment down below. I will do my best to follow up with you and help you out. So that being said, that's the end of the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're interested in learning more about Injustice 2, just let me know in those comments down below that you want to see more videos. I'll make more videos. I love making these. If you want some one-on-one help, I do offer lessons through my Patreon in the link down below. And if you just want to join our Discord for $1, heck, that would be awesome. We appreciate your support. And yeah, you can come and hang out with us and talk shop. Other than that, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, because it really helps me out, and subscribe if you haven't. We make new videos almost every single day. #Bonehawks, all that stuff, and I'll see all you guys in the next video.